The problem with swimming instruction is that children are taught from a young age the simple mechanics. It's freestyle, raise the arm with the elbow up and then dip in with a finger. First of all, it's way too prescriptive. Um, Even as like Caitlin Sandanau, an Olympic 200-meter butterfly gold medalist, talks about how the hands should be wide open like this on freestyle, and that makes a lot more sense. You think, oh well, if you cup your hands like this, you can really pull through the water, and it's nonsense because this form will slow down because it makes your muscles more rigid. You want a relaxed body. You want your muscles to be more relaxed. Um, it's unfortunate, I think, that breaststroke has become such an aggressive stroke because it up until a couple 3 decades ago how it was swum was quite graceful and natural looking, but then again it's all for the sake of speed, and style falls secondary. The style and grace of the beautiful natural stroke of breaststroke falls secondary to speed and efficiency. And that's also true of backstroke. If you watch the Olympians, I mean, they cock their heads so far back. It just seems so unnatural and hard on the body. That's why a lot of Olympic athletes have serious injuries, have to have shoulder surgery when they're in their sometimes early 20s. It's too bad, I think, that something as beautiful as swimming is sort of perverted into something so competitive. Competitive sports are okay. Competitive swimming is okay. Personally, as an INFP personality type, I'm demotivated by competition. There are benefits. It makes you swim faster. You're swimming against more skilled swimmers, but on the other hand, I don't think I ever learned anything like, the two swimmers in my age group who were faster, in part because they were taller. I'm like 5'9" and a half. I'm at a disadvantage. Um, just like the swimmer who held was it in the butterfly, 200-meter butterfly? I'm not sure. I think it was before Michael Phelps took his record. I was at a clinic with him. I stood next to him. He's about as tall as I am. It's like, well, that's one reason probably there should be um, height categories in swimming, just like there weight classes in boxing. Because the two people I mentioned who were faster are 6'3", probably 6'2". I mean, stroke for stroke, that person is at an advantage. So you really have to admire a swimmer who's shorter but can keep up, or at least be in competition with those other swimmers. So, but getting back to the mechanics, um, it's unfortunate. I see I when I visualize or fantasize of myself as a swimming instructor, even of young children, think more about the function of the parts of the body, or if you're doing the flutter kick. I know that's important. Like, okay, you want to, point your toes and keep your legs together. First of all, I don't really buy that. I think it's better. I have a looser style and I feel more comfortable with it. I think that you're in an advantage. Um, your like abdomen is center of your core, and all strength and energy and motion really should radiate from that center, that core. But just even like, okay, say freestyle, and if your legs are moving, your hips are rocking back and forth, that's your that's your stabilizer in the water. I mean, that's like when you're swimming stroke for stroke. I mean, it's all a coordination of basically keeping yourself buoyant and moving through the water. It's a each movement is interrelated. So some people may not even realize that if you're like kicking upward, or you're moving your hip upward, you're actually stabilizing your body more, bringing it closer to the surface. Uh, but it's more than just keeping it on the surface. It's keeping everything in order so that you're in motion, uh, forward motion. Um, I think that's one of the main points. My best stroke, I guess, is butterfly. I've always been known for butterfly, and it is a stroke which is probably difficult to learn. But once you learn it, it's so natural. It's such a natural stroke. I'm sorry I'm not in a pool right now. I don't really feel like demonstrating. I don't know how valuable it is, but I really kind of refined my own butterfly when I was probably in my, I think, early 20s or so, because I think I was thinking ahead that I want to swim butterfly for life, so I have to have my form has to be gentle on my body, gentle on my shoulders. I mean, I still do it. I still swim butterfly whenever I get in the pool. About 20% of my workout is butterfly. But there are the interstices, I think, especially on butterfly, the interstices are very important. It's like when you're taught and you're swimming, in swimming, to emphasize the glide, and that is basically what it amounts to, is the glide in butterfly. I mean, it's almost like, even if you're doing it at an intense pace, that end of the stroke and also the beginning, that moment when you're reaching out, that's when you have to you really have to be aware of muscular relaxation, and then you start again, boom, while you're gliding, instead of like holding it rigid. That's, I think it's very important in terms of form, and just um, minimizing wear and tear on your body. If in that motion, when you follow through, there is glide, but it's not a rigid glide, it's a relaxed one. That's where you're coming back to home base, and that's the beginning of the stroke, and it's the end of the stroke. It's a resting point. So even if you're swimming butterfly extremely intensively, you need to always maximize on that rest spot. You need that, because that moment of rest for your muscles, just to do that with all the repetition every single time, that moment of rest is going to reduce the chances of developing tendonitis. It's going to just cause much less wear and tear on your body. But in breaststroke, it's not really a concern. I mean, if you just do it recreationally, you have a good stroke, but you're basically just doing it for general fitness. And then the end of the stroke, the end of the butterfly, or the end of the breaststroke stroke, it is also a resting point. But I guess with the pull, breathe, kick, glide, pull, breathe, kick, glide, the glide is something that you have to be careful about. You don't want to glide. You just have to. There's a point in the glide where it's just long enough, and then you have to restart the stroke, because if you hold the glide too long, you're slowing down your stroke. The whole point of the glide is you're actually being more efficient. You're being you're being more efficient in your stroke, because you're allowing all that work that you've done to propel you further. It's like, boom, I've done that work. How far is it going to get me? And then there's that point where you have to start the stroke again. Because if you hold it too long, you're going to slow yourself down. You're going to slow down your stroke. I don't comment on backstroke because it is my weakest stroke. I've never had a good feel for backstroke. I just kind of do it the way that it feels natural, and because I swim IMs in my workout, which is unusual. It's strange that I do workout. I mean, not all the time, but for, over 20 years, I mean, I do like 5,000. I do a 500 free warm up, and then I do 200 IMs, and then I do a 500 cool down. Sometimes I don't have time to do that. When I do, that's my workout. I did swim competitively. I swam the IM in competition, but the reason I chose to work out doing IMs is because it's, you're doing all the strokes. You're using different muscle groups, and it's less wear on the body. I think that's been my belief for this time since I was in my early 30s. I'm 54 now, so but it always kind of astounds me that people who are very good swimmers, and they know all the strokes, they just swim freestyle when they work out. Why? Like, because it's the fastest stroke? I think that is part of it. It's like, I have to show that, I'm swimming the fastest stroke, which thank you very much to the Native Americans for giving the world the crawl stroke. But it just seems strange. Like, why isn't it more common to swim IMs and workouts, or at least vary with a few strokes? Some do, and some kids do, because if they're practicing and they're mimicking their workout they're taught. But I mean, adults and I've been in a lot of pools around a lot of swimmers, and that seems to be the pattern. And I think it should be changed. I think there should be more swimming of all, the four strokes.